This video is the second part in a series that shows examples of how RockWorks may be used in various industries. The lithologic and stratigraphic capabilities within RockWorks are ideally suited to coal geology. In addition, RockWorks includes powerful grid logic capabilities that allow for multi-seam, multi-attribute filtering based on seam thickness, BTU, ash content, sulfur content, total organic volatiles, and interburden-overburden stripping ratios. Data from a cone penetrometer is entered into the RockWorks database as borehole information with locations, depths, pressures, and refusal depths. This data is then modeled and displayed as a fence diagram to identify areas of poor compaction. The first step in contaminant plume modeling is to enter the data and generate strip logs. In this example, relative benzene concentrations are shown by proportionally scaled and colored disk. The next step is to use the RockWorks modeling capabilities to generate a block model based on these benzene values. By filtering the model values based on a user-defined threshold, we can see the shape of the plume as well as the volume. By combining stratigraphic or lithologic fence diagrams with plume models, we can see the relationship between the pollutant and the geology. In this case, the plume is moving through a filled paleo canyon. Time-based animations of plumes are a great way to show how a contaminant is migrating, dissipating, metastasizing, or expanding over time. RockWorks has been applied to dam sites for lake volumetrics, sedimentation rate monitoring, dredging, and a very interesting application called deflection monitoring. This involves special surveying instruments that are lowered down grooved well casings. This data is then plotted as proportionally scaled vectors that show where the water mass is bulging the dam works. When used in conjunction with the included sample data, RockWorks provides hands-on curricula content for a wide variety of topics, including contouring, cross-sections, economic geology, fence diagrams, downhole geophysics, geochemistry, geomorphology, geostatistics, gridding, hydrochemistry, hydrogeology, hydrology, logging, mapping, measured sections, mine engineering, multivariate spatial analysis, statistics, stratigraphy, structural geology, and much more. Geotechnical soil properties from borings can be numerically modeled, visualized, and quantified in terms of volume and mass. Modeling USCS soil types is accomplished by using the special RockWorks litho blending algorithm. This method allows for discontinuous units that mimic transgressive regressive interfingered lenses. Numerical soil properties, on the other hand, are best modeled using the conventional continuous block modeling algorithms. Examples of these numerical soil properties include porosity or hydraulic storativity, permeability or hydraulic conductivity, consolidation, shear strength, and Atterberg limits. Geothermal applications typically involve a series of test holes to measure rock and water temperature in order to delineate the geometry of the thermal anomaly. In this example, temperature is depicted by color-coded disks. A temperature model is then estimated via a three-dimensional modeling algorithm. Finally, the temperature model is combined with a hydrostratigraphic model in order to determine the optimum locations for injection and recovery wells. Static groundwater modeling within RockWorks is accomplished via hydrostratigraphic unit context or continuous block models based on transmissivity and/or storativity. This cross-section shows a combination of the two methods, whereby an aquifer's porosity is modeled continuously, as shown by the contours, whereas the confining units are treated as impermeable hydrostratigraphic surfaces. A 3D block model shows the same relationship. In addition to hydrostratigraphy, RockWorks also includes utilities for computing single well drawdown based on the Tice equation, as well as multi-well surfaces showing the effects of pumping as well as injection. By hydrocarbons, we mean oil, gas, and coalbed gas methane, applications that all require special attention to stratigraphy. Now, one of the most useful tools within RockWorks for mapping stratigraphy is the Interactive Stratigraphy Picker. This program provides a means to quickly and interactively select contacts from well data, such as scanned or raster logs, downhole geophysical data, or lithologic observations. These picks or tops are then used to create structural surfaces, isopachs, 3D stratigraphy models, fence diagrams, and so on. Another useful capability involves quantitative downhole data. In this example, relative sand content from borehole data is used to generate models that can be used in conjunction with other data sets, such as stratigraphy, to isolate zones where hydrocarbons would be well hosted. RockWorks includes a variety of applications that are used within hydrochemistry, including stiff diagrams, stiff maps, Piper diagrams, Burov diagrams with contours based on relative sample densities or dissolved solids, point maps depicting hydrochemical values as proportionally scaled symbols, spider maps depicting multiple elements or compounds, contour maps, strip log bar graphs, and solid models. Industrial minerals often involve more than one client specification parameter, as well as multiple customers with different requirements. As a consequence, industrial minerals can benefit greatly from RockWorks' ability to optimize excavation pits to best serve multiple specifications. For example, consider a state transportation department with specific criteria for acceptable sand, gravel, clay, organics, etc. RockWorks models each of the properties separately, filters these models based on the acceptable cutoffs, combines the filtered models based on mutual agreement of the parameters, and finally creates preliminary pit designs via a floating cone algorithm. Landfill site monitoring is accomplished by entering the data for all of the monitoring wells within the immediate vicinity and generating models for each of the salient contaminants. In this example, we've combined a cutaway view of the local hydrostratigraphy with a Plume model representing regions where mercury levels have exceeded a regulatory threshold. Plotting inclined boreholes and generating block models are essential to minerals exploration and ore body evaluation. RockWorks can also generate parallel projected cross-sections in combination with color-coded contour slices through the block models. And RockWorks employs a floating cone algorithm that allows the user to experiment with various cutoff grades, bench heights, and stripping ratios to determine the optimum pit configuration. RockWorks includes some fairly sophisticated capabilities when it comes to producing hydrocarbons from horizontal wells within fractured reservoirs. The ability to plot deviated logs in 2 and 3 dimensions based on downhole survey information is just one of those capabilities. Another is the 3-dimensional modeling that can be applied to raw geophysical and engineering data such as gamma, resistivity, spontaneous potential, pore pressure, etc. Or you can model calculated values such as porosity, permeability, and water saturation. As with all RockWorks models, volumetric computations are included within the 3-dimensional diagrams. Tunneling and buried utility applications typically involve visualizing the tunnels as tubes in conjunction with other geological data sets. Equally useful is the ability to compute the individual volumes of various materials that will be extracted from a proposed tunneling operation. RockWorks includes 3 particular features that are especially useful for uranium exploration. The first is a utility that converts downhole counts per second data into uranium equivalent grade. The second is 3-dimensional ore reserve block modeling, and the third is the ability to easily change or filter the cutoff grades within the U308 model in order to immediately obtain new volumetrics. That's the end of this video. For more information, please check out some of our other videos on YouTube or visit our website at rockware.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.